I have a dream of becoming a full-time artist. I have a dream of quitting my job and doing art full-time. I've been thinking about this for over a year now. And, I thought, if I can just do decent art, post it on Instagram, and people will just like it and see it and start following me. And I slowly can start growing an audience and then start making money with my art. Sounds very simple, but it doesn't work that way. And I'm sure a lot of you have thought that way at some point and realized that it is not that simple. So I started just watching different videos on how can I make money with my art? How can I become a full-time artist? And there's a lot of videos out there. A lot of it just try and make it sound very simple and very easy. But because they're very simple and easy to start and do, they're very hard to do well and be successful with it. So I figured there has to be a different way. I need to do something different and I need to figure out a way to make it work. So I had to get out of my comfort zone and really take a leap of faith to try and make this work.
That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith.
But before I talk about that, let me just go through what have I done in the past year and a half, and what did I try to do to make money, and then how I failed in all of these things, and what led me to this point and the thing that I'm going to be doing now, and this leap of faith that I'm going to be taking. So we have all seen these videos, the ones that make it very simple. Just do print on demand. Print on demand is very low risk because you don't really have to spend money on inventory or anything like that. So you can really start it very easily. And I thought I should give it a try. So there are different ways of doing it. The first way is if you just do with Printify, for example, you have to do your own marketing. You have to have your own website or something like that. And then whenever you receive an order, you just go through Printify and, do the custom order for them. And then this way you really don't have to hold any inventory or anything like that. But it really requires lots of marketing, really requires you to have an audience to make that work. So I really didn't feel like I have that audience or that I can really do that. So I didn't really try that. But the other way of print on demand are these two other websites that do some marketing for you. For example, there's Redbubble and there's Society6. So these two websites, you can just create an account, you post your designs, and then you can put your designs on so many different things. And then people just use those websites to look for things. And they do a little bit of marketing for you. So you don't have to spend as much time, or you don't really need to have the audience, for example, or the following on Instagram or anywhere else to do sales. I mean, of course it helps, but they also help you a little bit. But the challenge with that is because it's so easy and very low risk, it's really flooded. It's flooded with different designs, it's flooded with different artists, and so many different things. And one of the things that I really thought, I didn't like about it too much, and I thought it's not for me, is that, they take a pretty big cut when it comes to, the profit. So you really need to be very competitive with your pricing. And if you want to be that way, you're really making very little. And I thought, sure, it's good because, they take a lot of the risks, it removes a lot of the risks. But that is why they take a big cut and the margins are very small. And I thought, following that path of going through Redbubble and Society6 is not going to really work for me long term as far as the goal of becoming a full-time artist. At least this is how I thought. So I created it, I had maybe one or two sales there, and it really didn't really get me much, maybe $1 or $2. So I really quickly gave up on that path. So then I thought, well, what if I just try and sell on Etsy? I can set my own pricing and I can manufacture my own thing. Then my profit margins will be a little bit more. And I started my Etsy shop, and I still do have it, but also that requires a lot of marketing. It requires some following. Etsy does some marketing for you, but it's, you really need to have the following that you have, for example, on social media or other places to make sales. I know there's a lot more to it in Etsy, and maybe I don't have the experience, but it really didn't work out that much for me. So I made maybe 2 sales overall in the past 6 months or so. And one of them was a friend. So really, it was just really one sale. And it also requires me to have some inventory. Of course, I started very small and I have some very small inventory. And I tried it and it's still there, and I'll continue trying it. But again, it's something easy to start. It's maybe a little bit more more work than just print on demand on sites like Redbubble and Size6. But it's still not too difficult for people to start. Especially you can even link your Etsy to print on demand, and it really reduces the risk. So again, very flooded with different people, different artists, even some AI art in there. I see sometimes that people are trying to just sell things. So it's very hard to be successful on Etsy. So then I thought, okay, maybe I can do, freelance work. Freelance work is hard to start with. And I thought, there are some websites like, for example, Fiverr or Upwork. So I just created an account on Upwork. And if you're not familiar with Upwork, the way it works, you create an account and other people have accounts there, and they just post jobs. They post jobs and then people can just go and bid on them. So you bid on the work that you see and you want to do. And you try and get that job. You can, for example, have samples of your work and things like that, and then try and get some work. This also was difficult. I think there are two reasons they're difficult, because it has a bidding process. People post and then you bid on the work, and a lot of people really bid really low prices to just try and get some work there. And that's why it's really hard to value yourself, what you think you're worth on those websites. Also, the other thing is that it's when you don't have reviews and you haven't done any work on that website, it's hard for people to trust you and give you work. So it's really hard that way, and didn't really work out for me. Also flooded. It's lots of people are bidding on anything and everything, so it becomes a little bit challenging to start there. I tried it for a little bit. I didn't. Again, I really failed with that one. Didn't really work out for me. I hear that with freelance work, some people say, just post your art on social media, post it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, and then people will find you. But I feel like my art, of course, it's not there yet. And that's why people haven't reached out to me. Actually, I've had one maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago where I posted something on Facebook and someone just contacted me and commissioned me for work. And that was the only time that happened. But other than that, I haven't been able to do freelance work for anyone or anything like that, even on that Upwork website. Now, I say all of this, these are the things that I tried and didn't work out for me, but it doesn't mean that they are not going to work out for you. These are just things that my experience, I tried these things and, tried it in different ways, but it didn't work out for me. And I think one of the main reasons they didn't work out was that my portfolio at the time wasn't really focused. I had many different practice pieces. I've worked so much on different things, but I didn't really have that good, strong portfolio or things to make it work, especially for the Upwork try where was trying to get freelance work. So then I started thinking more and more and more. I thought there has to be a different way. There has to be something else that I can do. And, I kept thinking, in everything or any business, there has to be some sort of, a lot of times there's a risk for the reward, and it's not that easy, not that simple to just create a simple account and make it work. And I kept thinking about it, looking more into it, trying to find that leap of faith that I need to take. A lot of people just quit their jobs, do something, but I can't really take that big of a leap of faith. So then I came across Artist Alley, and I thought, well, maybe I can try selling my art in Artist Alleys. And this was something that I was thinking about maybe about January or February of this year. So it's not that I didn't know about Artist Alley. Of course I knew what that is, but I always thought that only professionals do that. Only people who are great with their art and at art can do that and sell their art at conventions or expos or things like that. So it wasn't something that I really considered before, but I thought, I really need to do something. And I was desperate to, take a step. So I thought maybe I should apply, and in January, February, I decided to apply. And the reason I really was doubting myself was because I also didn't really have pieces that were worthy of, selling in an Artist Alley. So I came across Edmonton Fan Expo. So decided to apply there. And at that time, when I applied January, February, I only maybe had 2 or 3 pieces that were, worthy of, being presented and sold in an Artist Alley at the expo like that. But I thought if I apply for it, I just assume that I'm going to get in. and it will give me a deadline. The expo is in September, so I still have some time, but I thought if I do that, I can just have a deadline and know that I need to have, 10, 12, 13, or maybe 15 pieces done and ready by then, so that when I go there and if I get into it, I have enough pieces to sell. And even if I don't get into it, at least I gave myself a deadline and worked on something to help, build my portfolio to, be able to apply for more conventions after that. So, but the thing about this is it is a leap of faith for me. It's something that I don't know if it's going to work out or not. I need to spend some money to try and see if this will work or not. So this leap of faith is not a cheap one. The table costs about $300 and some dollars. I have to buy, equipment for my table or the setup. So that's a few $100s. And then I need to spend lots of money on actually printing things and having my prints ready. So it's something that I think is a risk. And I thought, this is something that I should try. And the reason I chose this and I decided to take this risk is because I feel that my target audience is going to be there. I try so much on social media, try to, attract the target audience that I want. But, with the algorithms and the things work out, things are not always shown to the right people. But I thought at a fan expo like this one, I can have pieces where, the people that I think will enjoy or like my art would be present. And I know, there will be lots of competition because there are a lot of people in artist alleys in an expo like this. But I think people that attend these expos are primed a little bit to spending on something. They want to spend some money and they want to purchase some art. And I thought maybe I can make this work. And this was something that I really thought may work for me. So here we are now, it's June, and I got accepted into Artist Alley for Edmonton Fan Expo. And, it's in September, so I still have a few more months to prepare more and more. But because I had assumed I'm going to get in, I think I have enough pieces already that I can make something work. So let me show you kind of what I have right now, and you can kind of get an idea of, the things that I worked on in the last 4 or 5 months to get myself to the place that I am now. So these are some of the paintings that I have, and I'm also trying to finish a couple more. But in the meantime, I think I have enough that I can, at least present, or even if I don't do any more, I can have some stuff to sell, and I think I try to pick, lots of fan art too of things that I think are popular or I think that I like and I'm interested in. And I tried printing a little bit of testing, and something that I'm going to do is try and sell 3 different sizes. So I'm going to try to sell some really small ones, maybe 5x7. I'll try and sell some that are maybe 8x12. And then I'll try also sell some that are larger, 11x17. And, it's my first expo, so I'm not sure how it's going to go and if it's going to be, if all of these sizes or having different sizes is a good idea or not. Is it going to be successful or not? Also, I don't know which size is going to be most popular. I've done some research and things, but I decided to have all 3 sizes to try and see how that's going to work out for me. I did a lot of research online, and I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos of people that do Artist Alley to look at their setups. One is that I've seen a lot of is, I think she's called Malkana, and the other one is Sundrop Studios YouTube channels, and they do a lot of Artist Alley stuff. So got some inspiration from them to figure out how my setup's going to look like. And I eventually did a 3D mock-up of what I think I'm going to do, and I bought a bunch of stuff to go with that. I was hoping to do more things like, for example, enamel pins or stickers, but I don't think I have the time or to do research on those a lot and manufacture or test or anything like that. So for now, I'm just going to stick to prints. So this is it. This is really what I'm going to be trying to do in September. Doing Artist Alley on an expo, which is the Edmonton Fan Expo is a decent size. So I'm not doing a small market to begin with. So it's a big risk, and I'm not expecting much because it is my first one. And there's a lot to learn when doing things like that and trying something new. So we'll see how it goes. And I'm hoping to at least, break even or make some small amount of money and learn from it, learn a lot from it, and see if this goes well or this is something that I enjoy and I like to do. Maybe I can do a lot more expos or conventions like this. There's so many in Canada, and I can do a lot of them or some of them and try and experiment with them and learn more and try and see if that is an avenue that I can take, and maybe it will get me one step closer to becoming a full-time artist. And if you really want to follow and see how that goes, the expo is in a couple months, and I am really hoping to post a video or something on explaining how it went and my experience and, the lessons that I've learned, and if this is something that I'm going to be pursuing more or not. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.